Alain Elmaleh,
Yes.
businessman, father, and husband. You have a manufacturer and distribution company, Bodispa,
Bodispa, yes.
wellness, c'est des wellness products.
Yes, we do a whole range of products that goes from wellness to the body all the way to sexual wellness.
You have a chain of retail store of 17 stores
Yes.
around Quebec only?
No, we only have 3 in Quebec, and the rest is in Eastern Canada, Ontario, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia.
Really?
Yes.
New Brunswick is really rare that you hear that you're going to expand in this place. Why
Well-
did you choose there?
Well, because it's a long story, which I'll make short. 38 years ago, when I started the business, I started to sell to video stores in that area in Eastern Canada, because back in those days, my best friend was manufacturing adult videos, and the only territory he had for me was in Eastern Canada.
Okay.
So it's not by choice, it's by necessity.
Okay. But 38 years ago, let's go back. You are today 62 years old,
62 years.
very young,
Thank you.
successful.
Thank you.
What was your thought of mine thinking of okay, I'm going to start with sexual toy. This is pretty risky 38 years ago, even today, because it's so taboo.
Well, let me bring you back to that era. I came from Morocco at 18, and by trade I'm a technical draftsman. I can draft, I can design, I can draft anything technical, engines, any mechanical parts. So when I came to Canada, I had 1 year left to finish my studies. So I studied at the aerotechnical base in Saint-Hubert, and I finished my studies, and my dream was to work in a big firm as a technical draftsman. So my dream was materialized. I worked at Bombardier for about a year as a technical draftsman, a junior draftsman, because I was only 19 or 20. And after a year, I realized very quickly that it was not for me.
What
As
made
much
you
as I
realize?
had a talent for technical things, I felt that I had a bigger talent for business, for bigger business. So after a year, I saw the engineer there, the chief engineer, who was my boss. He'd been there for 42 years, still the same cheeseburger and French fries every day at the cafeteria there at the plant where we worked.
You were stuck at the box.
Yes, and I said, that's not me. I had long curly hair, I had big earrings, I had just come back from 3 months in Europe, and I said, it's just not me. So I quit, and I went back to Europe for another 2 months. And when I came back, I met Mr. Aldo Bensadoun, who is the CEO of the Aldo Group,
Yes.
who comes from the same area as me in Morocco. So we became very good friends, and he liked the fact that I was young and I wanted to really do things in my life. So I worked there for 4 years as a manager in different shoe stores in around Quebec.
So you were like a supervisor.
No, I was a manager, so I had to work for 6 months in Terrasse downtown. Then they opened Place Longueuil, so I went there. Then I came back and I worked on St. Catherine at the Pegabo. Then I went to Place Ville-Marie. But the interesting thing, even though I was not super mature, the first meeting I had with him when he brought me to his head office and he said, okay, we're going to give you a chance and all that. And I said, thank you very much, but you have me for 4 years. I want to learn. I just came to Canada. I want to build my credit. I want to understand how things work here. But you have me for 4 years. In 4 years, I'll probably leave. And he probably heard that before, so he said, yeah, for sure, no problem. So I worked there, and they all liked me. I won many, many awards, which I still have 40 years later. Best salesman, best increase store after store, etc. And 4 years to the month, to the dot, we had the Christmas party, and I sat with him for breakfast, and I said,
This is it.
Mr. Bensadoun, I'm leaving. And he said, what are you talking about? we were making plans to bring you in the head office as assistant buyer and then supervisor. I said, I like all these titles, but it's not for me. So I quit. And he said, did somebody offer you better? I said, I'm not leaving because somebody gave me $100 more. I'm leaving because I want to provoke the chance to do something else.
Did you have a plan then?
No.
You didn't know where you were going?
No, but I said, if I don't do that, everybody's going to say, Alain is stuck there, he's booked there, he has a career with the Dialdo Group. We don't need to explore anything.
So you create your own opportunity.
Yes. So I said, the only way I'm going to create is two ways. Number one is to be able to have to survive, because I depended only on myself.
Your family wasn't here?
My mother was here, but I'm not the type to go and borrow money from my dad, who was still in Morocco, who didn't have really the means.
So you came here with your mom?
No, I came alone, and she came 4 months later.
Okay.
I came,
So it was your responsibility to make sure that you were the man of the house for here?
No, my mom had a job, so she didn't ask anything of me, and I didn't ask, to borrow money from her, nothing like that. But I remember clearly when I left, I said, I'm going to leave for two reasons. First of all, to provoke the opportunity for people to notice and say, this kid looks like a smart kid, let's do something with him. Or if that was not the case, I was going to have the instinct of survival and find a way to make money.
Okay.
I had no other choice. So sure enough, I left and I worked 2-3 different jobs, and I got disappointed on many things that, I tried with people that were not the most ethical or integrity, etc. And that was May 1985. I still remember when my best friend told me, listen, I don't see that you're doing very well. You spent all your savings. We were like brothers. We were every day together.
Yes.
So it was the beginning of May 1985. He said, I don't think that you're doing too well. I'm doing amazing, but unfortunately I have already salespeople in the Quebec territory and Ontario. So if you want, I could fill up your car with movies, because back in the days there was no toys, there was only movies.
Yes.
So I'll fill up your car, and the only territory that we have that's available is Nova Scotia. And I said, where is that? And he said, if you keep driving for about 1,200 kilometers, you'll hit Nova Scotia at a certain point, because it's one highway that takes you all the way there after Quebec City, Rimouski, Rivière-du-Loup. Mm-hmm. Then you have to go,
So you made that an opportunity, and you grow inside of this area, because now you have business there.
Well, I didn't know how that business worked. I never sold a movie in my life. I sold many things in Europe. I knew I was a great salesman because I worked at the Aldo Group, but I never sold a movie. I didn't know if they asked me questions on the format, VHS, Betamax. Back in those days, there was many formats, not like now. But I said, I'll figure it out. And he said, worst case scenario, because he didn't even know if there was any video stores there.
Okay.
That was the other problem. That was the other mystery to this business. So he said, just fill up your car, go there. Because we didn't have internet. So he said, if there's nobody there and you come back, I'll pay you rent for June. Because I didn't even have money to pay my rent in June, and we're in May.
So you were really hungry to make it happen.
Yes.
You have to be hungry.
And that's why I still remember when I left Aldo and I said, I'm going to provoke the opportunity, and I have to
make
have
it happen.
That survival instinct. It's like if I take you the way you are and I dump you in the forest, even though every day you need your coffee and your toast and your baguette,
you will survive.
You'll survive for 8-9 days just with water.
You hustle.
Figure it out. Yeah.
You figure it out.
Yeah. So I got there. I drove for about 1,200 kilometers doing nothing, just driving. Every time I went, I drove by a video store. I was too shy to go in and show him adult movies.
How did you do that? How do you walk in?
So I just kept driving. And at one point, it was like a day and a half later, and I got to Saint John, New Brunswick, which is about 1,400 kilometers
I have
from
family
Montreal.
there, so I know where it is.
So I spoke to myself. I said, "Where are you going? You need to stop and sell. Like, where are you going to Newfoundland like that? You got to stop and start selling." So I walked into a mall, and there was a video store there. So I did the tour of the video store, and there was no adult movies in there. So on my way out, the owner was at the cash, and he said, "Can I help you?" And I said, "No, it's okay." He said, you don't look like you're from St. John for sure. You don't have a look of St. John. What are you doing here? So I said, no, I'm from Montreal. I sell movies. He said, what type of movies? I said, I sell adult movies. He said, oh, I want to talk to you. So I said, but you don't sell them. He said, yes, it's very taboo. So we have a book. So we show people a book with the pictures of the video cassette, and they point, and then we go in the back and we bring them the cassette.
Oh, yeah, it was doors, huh?
Yeah.
It was like a second.
No, but he didn't even have doors. He had an actual book, like a big album, photo album, and he took all the video boxes, because back in the days it was these big video boxes. So he took the video boxes, made them flat, and put them in his book. So you had to go through all the flat videos to decide which one you wanted to see.
Because small town, bigger taboo.
Yeah. So I ran to my car, came back with a bunch of the different movies. He bought, he was happy like a kid at a candy store. He bought, I think, 15 or 20 movies, paid me on the spot by check. I went back to my car and I calculated my profit, because I knew, my friend told me how much he wanted for his movies, and the rest, it was mine, my commission. So I calculated and I said, wow, in 5 minutes, I made as much as I used to make at Aldo for a week.
Well, how much was that?
We made like $40 profit per movie. We were selling them at 50. My friend needed 10. I took the 40. So 40 times 15, I made like $500 or $600 in 5 minutes. You're talking 38 years ago.
So you could pay your rent in June.
Not even that. I said, wow, that's a business that I want to be in. I mean, this is good money. So then I drove all the way to Halifax, and there I hit the jackpot. I hit one supermarket that had a video store. It was a Lebanese guy. He found that I was Moroccan. We exchanged a few Arabic words. He bought 45 movies. He sent me to his nephew, his uncle, his mother, his sister. They all had video stores there. I sold out everything. I called my friend. I said, listen, I'm sold out. Send whatever you have. I'm going to be here for about 10 or 12 days. So he sent movies by cargo. I spent, I think, 10, 12 days. I came back with a lot of money in my pocket. So I figured, okay, now, I have money. Now I should look for a job. But a week later, I said, what about if I missed a few people there? I should go back. So long story short, I did that for 6 years straight, every second week.
You go back and forth?
Back and forth.
And Halifax, where did you go
between? New Brunswick. And the week where I was in Montreal, I was, starting to look for other products to bring, other videos to bring. But I got known, I made a name for myself very quickly, because there was a few competitors that heard that I was doing amazing there. So they all approached me to sell me their movies, because they were trying to sell there. But people, once they got to know me, they would either tell them, Alain's coming next week, I can't buy anything, I'm going to keep my budget for him. Or Alain just dropped by 2 days ago, I have no budget for you. So they figured better join me than fight me. So I started to really develop very, very quickly. I understood the business. I started to buy copyrights of movies. I opened a lab, like a replication lab.
Yes.
So I was buying licenses, replicating. Very quickly, I understood how to go vertical, to skip all the intermediates.
You think? I think, and maybe you think so also, that when we go out the way it's the most demand. If you would have stayed in Montreal, it would have been harder. But because you took the time, you were hungry for money.
Of course.
You were hungry to survive. You were a hustler. Because you went to territory that nobody's believed
ever been there.
You became the king.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how they called me. I didn't want to say it because
that's
ostentatious.
Say it here, you can't say anything.
But, many years later, I would go to shows in Los Angeles or Vegas, and people would say, you're the king of Eastern Canada. We heard about you. So it became very easy for me to develop very quickly.
And it teaches you to be even more successful, because your chance of getting it was harder at the beginning because nobody wanted to go there.
So then I had all the power and all the motivation and all the strength.
Is that made you stronger in business and long term? If you talk about it today, you think this lesson of life will make you who you are?
Oh, 100%.
And some side?
Of course. First of all, I'm much more resilient than I see the kids today. They have one failure of a week, and
they change job every week.
They collapse. They collapse. I see kids that start a sport the parents spend $5,000 on equipment after a week. No, I don't like it. It's too hard. I got pushed. I'm like, what? I used to drive for 15 hours in a snowstorm. I couldn't even see my lights in front of my car.
It's terrible.
I had the Volkswagen Scirocco. You know how comfortable that is to drive
It's
15
not
hours?
comfortable.
No. So I did that, but I didn't want to stop there. Then I understood that, going retail, I wanted to go vertical both ways, in the source and closer to the consumer.
And what about your friend? Where was he at the?
My friend was too busy partying with the money that I was making him, selling all the product that I was selling. I was selling so much that
So you decide to part?
Well, we were never partners.
No, but to go apart and make it your own business.
After 6 months, I incorporated the company, and I was approached by everybody, so I was buying from everybody. And in the meantime, the problem with my friend was that he was too busy partying, drugs, girls, cars, everything.
He gave you the opportunity
He
to
gave
start.
He was sent by the skies to give me the opportunity. And if he would have stayed as straight as me and as hardworking, he'd be just as successful because I was buying from him.
Where is he today?
So he went completely, terrible
Different.
here in Quebec. Then he moved to Vancouver, and I gave him an opportunity there because by then I was very successful. So I started to send him movies and tell him, here, try, sell them, and you'll pay me after. So even that didn't work out. And then he went down to zero. And then he got out of the business, obviously, because nobody would,
Sometimes we have opportunity was sent to us just to give us the push.
He was just there for that.
And then this is it. This is your journey.
Then he did something else, and we lost sight of each other. But so my journey continued with opportunities. Then the arrival of the video games was huge. I did very well with the video games because...
How did you find each step to go to the next level or change?
I was just very hungry. I was always looking. I was so aggressive. I was like just focused just on that. So
if you look at the Alain at that time and you look at the Alain today at 62, do you see a difference?
Do I see a difference in wisdom? Yes.
We all do.
Yeah.
Thank God, we'd be exhausted.
Yeah. Wisdom. I have much more wisdom.
More quiet?
More reflective. I reflect a lot. I have much more wisdom. I take things as they come, not too much emotion. I don't get carried away.
Business has no emotion.
No, and when you put emotion, you start making mistakes.
You fail.
Yeah, and now I'm in a position where I want to only deal with people that I like, that I enjoy. I don't want to deal with, if it's suffering, if I'm not having fun, I just don't do it.
No.
I don't do it. I don't need it. Sure, we always need more business, but no.
You do it because you still have the passion to do it, not because you have to do it.
Exactly. Somebody yesterday saw me. I haven't seen him in 10, 15 years, and he said, "Oh, you still going at it?" I retired. What about you? You still going? I said, I would never retire. I love what I'm doing. If I didn't do that, and I have a very hard-working wife who's like a go-getter, she's like unbelievable. I don't see myself sitting at home. Okay, bye, honey. Have a good day.
Your marriage will fail.
100%, and I would fail myself
emotionally, mentally.
In my head. I'd be depressed. So I would never do that. So that's not in my DNA. But I want to do things that I like. I don't want to wake up under pressure and have to go and punch.
It's not because you have to pay a bill anymore.
No.
It's because you want to do it.
So and I'm formatting my business so that my kids or my great employees, I have employees that have been with me for 25 years, 26 years, 22 years.
How do you choose your employee to be in your team after? Because this is not like you coming to, sell table. I mean, we are talking about sexual toy and everybody use it. Everybody does sex. Everybody think about it. I mean, come on. Like when I say the word taboo, I'm like, are you kidding me? Sex will always be there. That's how we and you are here. That's how the world functions. We all think about it. We all watch it. We all see it. We all think sexual is part of who we are.
Yes. To be honest with you, I don't even, when we hire people now, well, we're a bigger company. I do many things in my company.
Yes.
and you'll be welcome to come and you'll see for
Thank
yourself.
you.
We don't see it as like a sex company. We see it as an office, a distribution system. We have a distribution, we have procedures, we have real estate, we have many things that have nothing to do. And the product is just a product.
Yeah.
And that's why I mentioned the video games, because people thought, oh, Alain is only doing sex toys because he likes sex. No, when the arrival of the Nintendo
He likes
games
sex so much that he's
yeah,
selling
so
it.
he's selling it. No, absolutely not. There's people in California, people that I deal with, they live that life. They
Yeah.
live the porn life. They have, they have
But it's okay.
parties with the girls.
It fits their
and that's
needs.
fine. But there's other friends of mine that are family men, and 9 to 5, it's business. Then they go home. They have families.
So the job is just the team. Obviously, when you come to apply to your position in your company, you know already what they do. So if you're not comfortable, you're not going to go to apply to it.
we do have, like, I would be lying to you if I tell you that every time we put an ad, everybody, runs and there's never any, change of heart. There's people like that for their belief or their upbringing or whatever reason. So they'll see Bodispa or KTEL Media. They'll come and then they'll see that there is the adult products, and then they don't want the job. But this
When do
happened,
you think we're going to step it up in her mind and be
I
open
don't think
to
that we never. I don't think that we'll ever have 100% of that.
We're 2023.
It's never going to happen. There's people with beliefs, people with different backgrounds, different ethnic, and for those people, it's still very taboo, and it's not you or me or anybody that's going to change their mind. And some people are going even more drastic than before because of their.
You open the social media, they half naked and sometimes naked. And you're going to tell me, I'm sorry to say, a dildo is going to change somebody's life? It's just a piece of,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a
You and I
nothing.
agree, but a lot of people don't agree with us. They just don't. They think it's sinful. They think it brings, bad ideas, or it's going to destroy marriages. There's a lot of people
It will
that
help
think,
your marriage, sorry.
I think so too, but nevertheless, you have people like that. So after that, the logical following for me was to open retail.
Yes.
And why you asked me at the beginning of the interview why did I open there? Because I knew the market so well. Because I was so relentless when I was selling wholesale. I would take my car and literally to every street of every village of the whole New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, to find every video store that there was there to sell. So I knew the market extremely well. And when it came to open a retail store for videos back in those days, I chose Halifax because Halifax is a city that I really like. And, vibrant people, very liberal,
beautiful,
very
yes.
open, amazing people. So I opened the store there. And 2 years later, the owner of the building saw that I was doing so well. He wanted to triple my rent, and I don't like bullying like that. So I decided to not renew my lease, and I bought the property next door. And that was the beginning of my real estate venture. I did it by necessity more than
Yes.
wanting to be in real estate as well. Meaning that the first store, this happened, so I bought a building and I moved the store. The second store, I opened it in the strip mall, and the strip mall went bankrupt, and an insurance company took over the strip mall, and they kicked me out. They said, we don't believe in adult. You have to get kicked out. And that store was doing extremely well, so I bought the building next door. Then I went to Moncton. Same thing happened. I went there. The city said, no, you can't be here, but you could be there. There was a building for sale, so I bought it. And then I understood very quickly, I'm like, this is a great mix of two businesses, because the store does very well, pays the rent. Eventually, the mortgage gets paid from a store that's doing well. Then you have a property that's mortgage-free, and you have a store that's doing well where nobody's going to kick you out. So 18 buildings later, now we're in the second stage where we sell the smaller buildings and we buy strip malls, and we put...
Always in this area?
No, I do Quebec. No, I do Quebec. I do Ontario. But still Eastern. I wouldn't touch West because it would be spreading myself too much, staff-wise, etc.
So when you start to have your store, you put your sexual toy inside?
So when the DVD business, about 10 years ago, the video business became DVD. So we had a great run with DVDs. We made a lot of money. Then from DVD went to internet, subscription-based. Before the tube sites, now everything's free. It's not really free, but you know what I mean. A lot of people, they go there for 15 minutes and they're done, and it's free.
15 minutes?
Or 15 seconds.
Wait,
depends. Yeah. But the clips are 15 minutes.
Okay.
The standard
too long.
clips, way too long. But the standard clips are 15 minutes. Now, most people use probably a minute. But back in a few years ago, we made a lot of money with subscription base and paper transaction, pay-per-view, paper download. So we went through that, and then I just got tired of that whole industry.
Why?
I went around and around and around. I did 25 years of it. I made, the money that I had to make, and I wanted a new challenge. And I didn't want to, as long as it was distribution of movies, it was fun because it was just a product in a box like this. When it became internet and production and all that, it became more...
You didn't want to produce movie.
I didn't want to produce. Everybody was asking me to produce. I wanted nothing to do with that because I had growing kids. I have older kids. So I didn't want to have that kind of business where everybody knows I'm a big, big guy in Canada. And, that's what I do for a living. And meanwhile, I have kids in private school.
And now, do you have kids who are smaller? Which is
but now it's products. It's not.
And it's okay.
There's no naked women. It's product that you could see that don't have anything, that's offensive to anybody. And I have no problem with that. And we sell to pharmacies also. We sell products that are very clean to pharmacies. So I have no problem with that. So when I got tired of that business, first of all, it was much harder to make money because the price had gone way down. It was down to nothing almost. So I transitioned into manufacturing toys. First, I bought from Germany because I knew nothing about toys.
That's what I want to know. Where do you go and figure out, okay,
very good question.
This one is going to be pink and I want this one. Where do you try the toy? Where do you go and buy it? Do you have to go to do you have an underground store?
That's a very good question, okay, because you're right. From the DVD to the toys, it's a world of difference. It's completely different. And I knew absolutely nothing, which shape, which color, what quality.
What's going to work?
So what I did, I went to the best. I went to a huge company in Europe called Orion. And Orion has about the same business model as I do, but they've been there forever, maybe 50 years. They have 150 stores, and they manufacture maybe 6,000 SKUs, okay? I do 750 SKUs. They do 6,000. So I just went there, and I asked them to get the distribution for their toys for Canada. That way I could learn because I had my stores. So I brought in toys from Germany to sell to distribution and also to put in my stores. So what we did for the next 4 years was study with all the data from our computers, study what sells, what doesn't sell, the trends.
Yeah, because it's a trend. How do you know the trend?
And it's very sophisticated. It's
I'm
a very,
sure.
very difficult business. You can't, it's a closed world, and you can't just walk in and say, okay, I'm going to start selling toys. You can't
because
do that.
everybody has his own
And let alone
choice.
manufacturing. It's impossible. The design of the packaging.
Where is the most product made usually? In the States?
China.
In China?
Yeah.
And
China now is very, very high quality. It's not garbage.
So you used to bring them for Europe. So it must have been
to
very
educate myself.
Okay.
Yes.
It must be expensive.
Very expensive. But we learned, we had to pay to learn, right? So once we knew exactly what SKUs were doing better than others, we started to manufacture. I created a line called Nobu.
Yes.
Because I like the Nobu sushi restaurant. So I created
amazing.
I created Nobu, which you see on my
yes,
package.
I see.
And I created a name called Bodispa also. So Bodispa is the name of the company. And Bodispa is for pharmacies.
Yes.
And wellness websites and stuff like that. So
it's
this is what we call a dual ambiguous use. You can use it for your back. You'll have a great back. Or you can pleasure yourself as well.
Okay.
Same. So we started with like 15 SKUs, and we started to build from those SKUs, and the more we went,
so you open your own line by choosing what SKU was working the best.
Well, we had a good education from what was selling well already in Europe.
But it's such an underground world. I mean, it's not like you setting a
for somebody like you, yes, but for people in the industry, it's not an underground. It's a pretty
norm.
big industry.
But you
and-
understand what I mean?
Yes, of course.
It's
Yeah, you
not
can't go to a school and learn that.
say I'm going to
There's
be
no-
a florist, you know?
No,
you learn the
There's no
plant.
school to learn how to make toys.
Do you understand what I mean? It's
There's
like
none of that.
Each person has its
Yeah.
own different taste, and you have to
Absolutely.
wait and
Yeah.
see and the color, and if it's more fetish, if it's
Absolutely.
more for men, for
Yeah.
women.
But it's a real business, and
Of course.
And I remember when I met my wife, and people told her, "But you know who you are with? You're with the king of porn," which was a terrible label to
I
have.
guess she's having fun.
But
Congrats to her.
Yes, absolutely. But it's not that the point I wanted to make. So people have that stigma that when we go to shows, I go to many shows during the year. Germany, there was France. I went to Slovakia. I went to China, Shanghai.
You still
Hong
go?
Kong. I go much less because now I have a team that goes, and they do a much better job than me because they know all that product. I do more like the business running, but they do like the colors, the trends, and all that. So people think that when we go to these shows, it's a big party and there's naked girls on tables, and it's not
I
that
know
at all.
it's not like that.
So the year I took my wife to one of these shows, we have a show where it's one-on-one. So the sellers pay a big amount, and the buyers come for free. So usually they pick like an amazing resort. So for example, I took my wife to the Atlantis resort in the Bahamas. So it's 35 buyers and 35 vendors.
Yes.
So the vendors pay for both. And they give you a guaranteed 30 minutes with each of these 35 buyers in your suite.
Good.
So they can't be distracted. They can't tell you, no, je vais y penser, I'm going to think about it. They can't go somewhere else. They're stuck with you, and that's on the contract. If they don't do that, they get the bill of the vacation.
Okay.
So it's a contract. You have to. So you have their attention, big buyers for big groups of stores, England, France, everywhere, and you have their attention for 30 minutes. So it's up to you to bring the best toys in the suite and show them and take orders. So when I took my wife there, she's like, but where's all the partying that everybody says? It's boring, this shit. It's all like families. We brought our kids. One of my big customers from Netherlands brought his daughter. His daughter and my daughter became best friends. So when she came back, she's like, those shows are boring. They're like mom and pops. I'm like, well, what do you think? It's a business. It's like going to a real estate convention. You have people, with their T-shirt and their talk, and it's not, drugs or sex, rock and rock and roll and drugs. It's not that at all. It's just like a real business.
Sex is one of the biggest industry in the world.
Absolutely, and it drives a lot of things. It drives a lot of influence, a lot of.
Which one you think the biggest influence did it drive into?
Politics, economy, you name it.
So
everything.
You see how weird life is?
Yeah.
It's such a taboo, but it brings so much
100%.
to normal.
And the bigger the people are in positions in banking and everything, and the more deviant, the devious they are.
I agree with you. Really much so.
Stockbroker,
lawyers.
In China.
And we love them. We love them. But they have to be somewhere because they're so straight under pressure that they will release with sexuality.
You see, in Japan, you would think when you see those people from Japan, they're not the most sexual looking people in the world, right? They're very straight and they always have the little black hair and all that. The CEOs of all these big companies, I won't name any, but the CEOs of the largest companies that produce all the product that you use every day, electronics and all that, they're the most deviant, devious. I don't know how you say that devious in English. In France is déviant. But and they pay incredible amounts of money for the most crazy things: bondage, sadomasochist, all the stuff that we don't touch.
You don't.
No, we don't.
Where
touch that. We draw the line in the soft fetish, like the 50 Shades of Grey type of things.
Okay, so
soft fetish is it would be a cute pair of handcuffs,
or the feet.
Yeah, we have ankle cuffs and we have we have both, depending on the size.
Depend of the emergency.
But we have both. We have the ones that have the small size that's for your wrist. And we have the bigger one for your ankles.
Okay. So this is soft.
So we have a whole line that sells extremely well of soft fetish, meaning that you and your husband all of a sudden after 10, 15 years, you just want to try something different. You've done the toys, you've done all the stuff. Now you want something different. So he'll buy like a little whip, handcuffs, eye mask, different things for role playing, for bed restraint. So we have great bed restraint with the Velcro. So you'll be tied to your own bed.
Okay.
And it's just to spice up a bit.
Is it one toy that at one point, as personal, you say, no, we cannot have this. It's against, no.
No, I'll tell you why. Because I have an amazing team of 3 girls that have been with me for many, many, many years.
How long?
There's one that we met when she was 18 in Halifax. She was our manager of one of our best stores. She spent 5 years there. And she's been at the head office for about 12, 13 years. So she's been with us 18 years. But I have 2 girls in the accounting department that's been with me for 25 years. 3 people in the warehouse, 24 years. Salespeople, 26 years. So people come and they just don't leave. Even if I want them to leave, they won't leave.
But let's say a toy is present to you as a president of a company, and you say, no, this is, I can't.
But the point I wanted to make is these people filter before they come to me. So they don't bring me anything that they would not accept as women. They wouldn't bring me anything that's going to humiliate women.
Or men.
We're not in that business.
Or men.
Or men. But we're not in it. There's many, when I go to shows, for example, in England, they have the most devious mind,
Where do you think in the world? England?
England, they're up there, yeah.
Because they're very strict.
And they're like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, at the show, the show is, for us to go and meet business people and do purchases, import and all that. You'll have a woman with a leash and her husband or her boyfriend is walking on
the floor.
On the floor like a dog. And she'll walk around like normal. That's their role playing every day.
Okay.
So they're pretty, they're pretty up there. And they have companies that manufacture crazy things, crazy things, things like torture things from the medieval years. And people pay big money for that stuff, chairs where you have your hands like that tied, and then they have candles that they melt on you, and they have clips, for the nipples. And
that you don't have.
That we don't touch. Anything that's like suffering and, hard bondage, hard sadomasochist, all that stuff, we do not touch. We do everything very cute, very
polite and
trendy.
clean.
You see the colors. You see we're explore a lot of colors.
This one is very interesting because it's heavy.
We have a huge line of glass. The glass is one of our big winners because what's great about the glass, it's you can put it in the freezer and have a freezing sensation when you insert it, or you can put it in the microwave and have a warm sensation, and then you dip it in the boiling water and it's completely clean. There's hypoallergenic. You can't have bacteria or nothing on glass. And there's some art. There's some really nice ones, different colors, different textures, different forms.
This one is, I think, the
so
cutest.
This is part of our, so that's part of our new collection. And 3 years ago, we moved from a designer that was a man before, who did good job, for many years. And
for you?
Yeah, for Nobu, designed a lot of products, but he had the masculine touch on it. Yeah. Then we decided to switch to a girl designer, and our line took off like fire because she brought her feminine touch, and that appeals a lot to women.
Do you think women and men think differently when it comes up to sexual toys?
Of course.
How? Come on. Let's go.
You want all the secrets.
Of course. What do you see as a difference? You just opened the door for a question.
Yeah,
you say
right.
a man, now we switch to a woman. So I'm going to go and say, what is the difference?
For the most part, women don't want to feel, how can I say, not abused, but they don't want to feel taken advantage of. With toys that could be offensive or that could be too intrusive or too male-oriented, So they want to feel that you're bringing a toy, you're spoiling her with a toy. You're not demanding that she does your fantasies with a toy and she gets nothing out of it. She's just pleasing you. So that's why I think that our line really took off sales-wise, And popularity-wise, we see it in our own stores. In my stores, I carry 3,500 SKUs. 700 are mine, but 2,500 are from our competitors. And when we see the numbers that we sell compared to, and people can buy anything in my stores. We're not telling them, buy Nobu.
Yeah,
we tell them here, everything is there. So when we see the ratio of people buying our stuff versus everybody else, we're very happy. That means we're doing a better job because they're buying more of our toys than everybody else combined. So we see that since we had it designed by women,
yes,
and we do cute colors, cute fonts, everything
just
very
this
pretty.
Is very attractive.
That's it. So you see, you're a woman, and you
find
it's
cute.
So that's the difference. The women like to have something feminine, something where they feel they're part of the romantic experience of the toy. Whereas men, it's more for satisfaction, for
so if you
pleasing.
if you see a man walk in, you will definitely not choose the same toy as a woman.
Oh, 100%.
For a couple, let's say you are married.
Yeah,
I go in with my husband. The two in the same store would not choose.
This one is caters for men.
Yes.
It's a prostate toy, so it vibrates. But it's dual use. I mean, women can use it as well. So a man would, put it in his prostate, and this would be in the scrotum.
But a woman would not go to that toy right away.
No, because it's black. And look at the package. The package makes you think of a man. It's black with dark purple.
Okay.
But it's purple. It's not navy blue.
No.
So purple means that it could be,
But a woman will go to cute stuff,
She'll go to the glass. She'll go to that. She'll go to the nice jade green. She'll go to the aqua blue. You see, all this is women.
Do you think women and men are comfortable in the store? Which one is more comfortable?
Now, everybody's very comfortable. We have very, very beautiful stores. It's not because they're my stores, but, I love design. If you follow my wife, you've seen what I did in her office. I like design. I like color matching and all that. So my stores, the new generation of stores, every time we renovate a store, they're very, very couple-friendly. The windows are no longer blocked.
But do you think women are more shy to go in the store or
not
men?
Not anymore. Absolutely not. Not a chance.
Really?
Not a chance. Our windows are all open. The whole front of the store is all lingerie. So obviously we're doing that because it's women that come in. No, guys.
Is it more women who goes or more men?
I would say now, today, is 50-50. It went from 80-20, men versus women. 80 men, 20 women, because we had the movies, and movies are 90% men. Not too many girls.
Do they know they only play for 5 seconds and it's done?
No, they don't care.
Oh, okay.
It's good. It's good investment because the movie's 2 hours. So 5 seconds divided by 2 hours, they do about 2,000 times before they have to buy a new one, right?
But really, women now are comfortable with their sexuality.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, and we see that all the time. We see on the cameras when we do a traffic count. Many days it's I would say 65-35 for women.
What would you say to someone in your field who wants to start and come and knock at your door and say, "Help me, how do I start?" What would you tell them?
How do I start what?
The sexual company.
To manufacture toys?
Yeah.
I would say don't.
Why?
It's very complicated. It's a very closed world. It's a closed industry. Mm-hmm. We all know each other. Mm-hmm. Very hard to have other people come in. So unless you have a lot of money and you're retired from whatever other job you did and your fantasy was to start a business like that and you expect to make no money, then you can do it for fun. But to do it with your last few dollars and make a business out of it's very difficult today.
So you would say to someone, don't do it.
It's almost like starting a car manufacturer. You go see the CEO of Honda and you say, what about if I want to start he'd say, don't. We used to have 50 car manufacturers. Now it's 3 in the US and 4 in Japan, and that's it. It's tough.
You have other entrepreneur area in your portfolio. You do other stuff.
Yes.
What is the other stuff that I love? It's not here, but you do shoes.
Yes, absolutely. So that's my second passion.
It goes with the...
But you see, in life...
It goes with sex a bit.
Exactly.
Shoes and sex goes together.
That's a very good observation, and I'll tell you why. Both are impulse buying, especially for women. So now when I buy a building, I open a shoes, SHOOZE, that's the name of our company, and I open Pleasures and Treasures next to it. Why? because we advertise both separately. There's two separate companies. So let's say we'd advertise a pair of new sneakers, and you'd come and you get into the store and you buy the sneakers that you need. When you come out, you can't stop looking at a store that has beautiful lingerie, beautiful toys, little pompons like that, massage oils, lubricants that you might need for personal or for selfish or for you. So then you'll walk in as an impulse buying, you'll buy something. Or vice versa. If you see an ad of a new vibrator on sale, you'll come and then you'll be like, oh, there's shoes. Let me see what they're...
They go together.
And then they'll buy the shoes.
It's very sexy, yeah?
It's
shoes,
sexy.
And shoes and bed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Maybe it's me who's going too far, but
but
it goes together.
Yeah. And you see, in life, everything that you do is never wasted. I worked 4 years in the best company, the best retail shoe company in the world.
Yes.
Aldo is the best in the world, not
and
just in
Canada.
And
it helped you to...
I still use today what I learned from them 38 years ago.
And what kind of shoes is it?
Well, I bring in, I developed a network in China because I have so many contacts. I manufacture from about 20 manufacturers, different toys, different manufacturers. So I developed a very good rapport with a lot of the people in China, agents and manufacturers. So 4 or 5 years ago, I had a fluke, a deal that was offered to me on sneakers here in Montreal. And I called somebody who had a chain of stores. And long story short, I made a very nice markup in 2 minutes of a business that I didn't know at all.
So you're very in opportunities.
Yes. So then I called all my people in China. I sent them one email that I copied and pasted about times 10. And I said, look at all the manufacturers of shoes because everything is made in China.
Yeah.
I said, see if they have overstock. Maybe I'll buy and I'll bring. So sure enough, a week later, I started to have all these offers of different brands, different manufacturers having overstock, cancellations, mistakes on the label. So they were stuck with all that stuff. So I started to gather loads of shoes. And when I filled the container, I brought my first container. And here I hired a few people to do the sales, and they started to go see the Winners, TJ Maxx, Red Apple, Northwest, all the big chains and exporters. And very quickly we made a name for ourselves to bring great deals from China. So now 5 years later, we bring about I would say an average of 1 container per week. That's about 11,000 pairs of shoes every week. And right away it goes. We have pre-sold now. Before it lands from the port by boat, it's already pre-sold.
And you sell them.
Yeah. So this part of that business I keep. I'm not delegating to anybody because I love it.
You're doing it alone?
No. I have a whole team, but the buying I do alone.
So you go a lot to China?
No, I never go, but I get everything offers by email at night. I wake up in the morning early. I look at all the emails, and for me it's instinct. I look at an offer, yes, no, I'll take half the quantity, I need 50 cents less, and then we gather, and when we have a container, we bring it in.
We say that a successful man or woman who's a real entrepreneur doesn't sleep 8 hours a day. How many hours a day do you sleep?
I don't sleep hours at all.
Because I learned that a long time ago.
No, I'll wake up very early. Very often, I'll wake up in the middle of the night at 3 a.m.
Because you do business overseas.
That's it.
I do the same.
So I'll wake up because I have a flash in my head, so that'll wake me up. I don't want to wake up my wife, so I'll take my phone, go to the bathroom.
The dear bathroom.
And then I look at the offers, and I'm buying shoes at like 3 a.m. until 4. Then I go back to sleep, and then everybody wakes up at the house at 7 o'clock. The kids go to school, etc. So I wake up, I stay in bed a bit, but I'll say that I sleep really 5 to 6 hours comfortably.
Because when we're sleeping too long, we miss deals.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
LA is.
Oh no, you can't.
Sleeping.
Yeah, absolutely.
New York is already open. Wake up.
Sure. Yeah, and 3 times a week we train my wife and I at Big Daddy.
Yes.
Who you know also. We love that place. So we go early. So we wake up around 6:45, and we see the kids, send them to school, and then we go to the gym early in the morning. For me, it's early. But
beside the shoes, beside the sex toys,
we do the real estate. Because the real estate, as I told you, at the beginning was a necessity just to keep my stores.
And now it's a passion.
But now it's a passion. It's something that I know well now. And it became a real business just by accumulating the buildings to open my stores. So now all of a sudden it became a business on its own because we have renovations, we have we have other tenants, we have to renew leases, we have to build extensions. You know, we do all kinds of stuff.
How
So-
success changed your life?
Uh,
At which point do you say, I'm successful and it changed my life? Inside, you felt the change,
you know why
the
I
move.
feel you know why I feel successful? Because I'll give you an example. I was invited at a wedding in Morocco this summer.
Yes.
I went there and I reconnected with people that I haven't seen in 30 years. And the big success for me was when they came and they said, you haven't changed, not physically, but you haven't changed. When we talk to you, you still have jokes, you still like us. You didn't come with your nose up and say, oh, no, you know, we have to have a
So it
space."
didn't change your life. Success
No.
did not change your life.
No, no.
Do you really-
It brought me a lot of good material things. I raised, 3 big kids, all in private school. Now I have 2 young kids.
So you have 5 children?
Yeah, I have 5
How old
children.
are they?
28, 26, 19, 10, and 6.
That's
Yeah,
fabulous.
I know, yeah.
And
They all love each other.
all
Every
brother,
Friday
sister.
night they come to the house and, we have
you are, I don't want to cross the line, but I do. So I'm going to go there. You are Jewish. You
Yes.
practice
Yeah,
your religion every Friday night. I know
absolutely.
that. And you
Very
smoke
important.
cigar,
Yeah,
and it's very
yeah,
important.
yeah.
I'm from New York,
Okay.
and I know a lot of Jewish people.
In New York,
I mean,
3
that's what-
million Jews. That's a lot of Jews
Yes.
in one place.
At one moment, I was wondering myself, are you
Are you Jewish?
are you Jewish? So, in the community, sometime they will judge. Is this never happened to you?
No, never.
Good.
No, because the Moroccan Jewish community is a very liberal community, very accepting. Some of my friends are extremely observant, much more than me. I'm like in the bottom tier. Okay, there's the bottom tier, the mid tier, and then I have people that are like more spiritual than the material. They're their feet don't touch the ground anymore, which is fine.
It's their choice.
And I have childhood friends like that, and we sit down. They know I'm like 8 miles away from them in terms
And
of
their belief.
The belief. I mean, they'll wake up at 4 a.m. just to do a specific prayer
Yeah.
because the moon is exactly
Yes.
at this angle. I'm really far from that. I do Friday night, and Saturday I go to the synagogue in the morning. I have all my friends there. I bring my small kids, and that's about it. But those friends, they'll do the prayer Saturday night, Friday morning, Friday noon. There's a lot of, the Jewish religion is a very complex religion. So all that to say that I could sit with my best friend who's like extremely religious, and there's no difference. So if they accept me like that, for sure they'll accept what I do for a living as well.
Jewish people are very strong in business
Yes.
as entrepreneur.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is a big plus. They are really open-minded. They don't look at the product. They look as the business side always.
Well, because we have a history of necessity.
Exactly.
From the discrimination.
Exactly.
How did the Rothschild start their banking 200 years ago? Because
necessity.
because they blocked them from doing any work, and they had a few bucks, so they started to lend money.
Absolutely.
And they became one
Very
of the largest.
rich.
Exactly.
Thank you.
So by necessity, we had to do what we needed to do, and we had to accept other Jews doing other things because we know what it is. You have to,
Do you believe that an entrepreneur, and no matter what you do as an entrepreneur, once you know how to do it,
Oh yeah,
you can
absolutely.
redo it and apply it? I have a lawyer, a commercial lawyer, who told me not too long ago. I said, but I never did that. You see, well, you just apply the same rules. You've been doing it for 32 years. So what is the difference? And
Well,
do you believe in this?
Well, I'm the perfect example. I went from videos to DVDs to internet to video games to toys, and each one was different. but I apply the same distribution system, the same rules, the same way to approach customers, and the same way to budget myself, do the buying, the selling, etc. So once you have that knowledge, if tomorrow it's not no longer toys, maybe in 5 years you'll interview me and I'll tell you now I'm selling holograms, or you could see yourself somewhere else and you're here, but they'll see you there, and it'll be just great. And you'll say, don't you miss the toys? And I'll
No,
say,
you did that.
And I'll say, what toys? What? Like I did that. Now
We're done.
I'm done.
So if I say 3 words to you,
3 words, wow.
and you make it in your own order, okay? I'm just going to say it, and you're going to place it in your order.
Yes.
Success, passion, money. Which one comes first, second, and third?
Success by far. Passion, money after.
Really?
Yeah, because I'll tell you why. Because I have a reason. I didn't pick them randomly.
I'm sure you do.
Success, because to me, success is not just business or money or status. Success is a group of a lot of things. When you reach 60 and you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, I achieved success, is not because I have a bank account with a lot of money, or I have a big house, or I have 8 kids or 10. No, success is a combination of everything where people respect you. So that's success. When I see friends of mine that run big businesses, they have 4 kids, beautiful house, nice, nice life and everything. For me, that's success. If I see somebody who's, excuse my language, somebody who's a piece of shit, but he's worth $500 million, for me, that's not success. It's not success. It's just
arrogance.
It's not. It's just money. You're an idiot with money. You're an asshole.
We don't teach stupid.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So that's why I put success first, because success is you want to reach that before the end of your life. You want to feel that you have success in all aspects of life, your marriage, your kids, the way your well-being, etc. Your health also, it's part
Very
of your
important.
Success. If you eat like a pig and
if you have no health, you have no
that's
nothing.
it. If you eat like a pig and you have a lot of money and you have then
you have no health, Alain.
you have no quality
nothing.
of life. Even if
You have
you have
nothing.
$8 billion, you can't even spend it.
You can't.
So that's why I put success first. Passion is very important, because if you have success and you have passion that comes right after, that means at least you're happy every morning when you wake up. You're doing something with passion. Why do I put money last? Because when you have success and you have passion, money is automatically linked to these two. So you can't miss it. It's there.
I ask this question because I always say this to myself for years, and everybody laughs. Why are you saying that? And up to now, nobody who came in this podcast, as you're going to see as the weeks goes, nobody answered money, because they were all real entrepreneurs.
So they all said what? Passion first or success first?
Passion,
or half and half?
success, and always money. Because if you think about money, and it's strange, entrepreneurs who are not entrepreneur, what do they do first? I cannot do it. I don't have money. I don't know where I'm going to find the money. Don't worry about it. Just do it.
It'll come.
Just do it. And then you will figure it out as you go along.
They say the hardest workers are always the luckiest. Luck comes with hard work, not the other way around. If you do nothing at home and you say, I'm waiting to be lucky, it doesn't happen. If you work hard, all of a sudden you become very lucky.
I just want to know, why do you think the generation of today start with thinking, I need money to do something?
Because they, I'll tell you why. It's a very good question. They say strong people bring tough times bring strong people.
Yes.
Strong people bring up easy times because they're strong and they make money. Easy times bring weak people.
Yes.
Weak people create tough times. So the generation of today have seen our generation, which was pretty successful.
Yes.
There was a lot of business to be done, etc. So they figured that the only way to do it is with money. You can't do it with your resilience, with your passion, with your competence, with your ambition, with your love for something. They figure, give me money and I'll do it. But little did they know that even if you give $1 billion to an imbecile or to an incompetent or a lazy person, and we see that every day on people that win the lottery, $150 million, 3 years later, they're alcoholic and they lost everything and they're divorced. So it shows you that money is like salt. It could spice up everything or it could destroy everything.
Yeah.
Salt, if you put it on a steak, it's amazing. If you put it on a nice car and you leave it there with water,
It will burn.
It'll burn. It'll rust. So money is the same thing. It could bring you amazing pleasure, but it could destroy your life if you don't know how to handle it. You have to handle money the same way you handle
Your life.
many delicate things.
What's your next to finish up? What's your next move with your sexual toy company? Where are you going?
We're going to go more and more online. We're going to go more and more international. We're already in the US. We're in Germany. We're in Australia. We're in Canada. I want to continue with my formula of buying real estate and opening stores. I love that formula. Personally, I want to branch out more to real estate projects, to be honest with you. That's where my interest is right now. But that being said, I have such an amazing team that's doing all the work, and I'm just there supervising and making sure that the boat. I see this company as a boat that's on a good course, and once in a while I just have to tweak the gouvernail, the big wheel, tweak just a little bit so that it stays on course. Because if you don't tweak it, sometimes it hits an iceberg. So once in a while I just go like this, and it keeps going. But it's going on its own. We have a great team that love working, with me, together.
Alain, in 5 years, personally, not business-wise, where are you?
Well, I'm traveling a lot more with my wife because that's a goal that we made for ourselves. She's an amazing entrepreneur, as you know.
Yes.
She does a lot of things, and that brings her to different parts of the world.
Yes. Very successful.
Yes, very successful. And, excuse me. And now that I have more time because I can delegate and the business runs, not by itself, but it runs, if I skip 4 days, nothing happens, it's still there. So now when she goes to places for experiences, retreats, like, for example, next month she's doing a retreat in Guadeloupe. My uncle owns a resort there, so she's doing it there. I'm going to take the kids there, meet her after. Then we're going to Dubai. Then, she'll probably do another retreat early January or February. We'll go there. So 5 years from now, we'll do a lot more of that. Travel.
And you're going to work less a little bit?
Yes. So my goal is to always work until probably the end of my life, but only the hours that I want to work, from like 11 to 1, just come to work, feel that I have a purpose in life, do things that interest me, keep my mind
busy.
The mind is like a muscle. I see friends of mine that retire a bit too early. And now I speak to them and I find them, like one notch behind a bit. They're a little bit slower. They're not, completely slow, but I find them a little bit slower.
And that's a thing that I always say also as entrepreneur. If you feel the room is the same as you, change room. You're in the wrong room.
Absolutely.
You got to go in the big room.
You have to go to rooms
where it's uncomfortable.
Fast,
It's uncomfortable to walk.
It's uncomfortable, it's fast, and I love it. That's what I really like, to go to a room and I'm stimulated. I'm challenged, with knowledge. I have a lot of general knowledge, so I'm.
Would you start a new project, something completely new?
I don't. My mind is completely open to something.
You still have it in you. You will go 100%.
I would love it. Yeah. Probably something. Still, branch out from real estate or new products. Something where I could. I like to do things where I'm using my infrastructure
and your mind
and my mind and my way of doing business. So if there's a product that I could distribute worldwide, I have already the knowledge, the infrastructure, the team to do it. So to me, it's just the satisfaction of finding the right product, the next product that's going to be a big product, and push it. And in real estate, I think that there's a lot to do.
I have a personal question. Is it okay?
Right,
and if you're not comfortable, you don't answer.
I'm always comfortable.
So if you see this camera stop, it's because he wasn't comfortable to answer. Okay. You have a very successful woman as your wife. when she is younger than you, what is the drive when you see her going? What do you learn from her? Because she has a different mentality. She's a little bit younger.
Yes.
But she have a lot of drive.
We get asked all the time these questions.
Okay.
Aren't you tired? Look at her. She doesn't stop.
It's not the question I'm asking. What does she teach you still today? Because she's different.
Yes.
And she's very successful. And you
Absolutely.
are very successful. She could stay home and do nothing all day.
Absolutely. And she always says it. She says, I don't need to work.
Do you understand what
Yes.
I mean? So what does she bring to you as an entrepreneur that sometimes you're shocked that she still teach you this?
Well, whether I want it or not, I'll be very honest with you, whether I want it or not, I feel always the desire to perform, and and it's not a necessity, or it's not something that I'm obliged to do, but she inspires me to always perform, in my business. We work out together. We're very competitive, in a good way, So,
I never met her, so I don't know.
yeah, if you meet her, that'll be the impression that you have. But what she brings me is that spark, the thing that tells me, hey, you still have it.
That's called love.
Yes. No, but beside love, of course, love, we have 2 kids, we love each other, we can talk
But
for hours.
She makes you keep going.
That's it. Yeah. She gives me that spark plug, like a motorcycle. You need a spark
And
plug.
she does it very well.
So she gives me something that tells me, hey, you still have it. You still have the energy. You still have the mental power. You still have the capacity to do more projects. Maybe if I didn't meet her, I'd still be successful, but maybe I would have a few buildings less, maybe a few SKUs less, maybe a few stores less. But because she's there and she always has projects, I'm always like, I just bought a strip mall this week. I did this.
But I think you do the same for her also.
Oh, 100%. She doesn't do anything without talking with me. I'm her, I'm her bouncing, bouncing wall.
Marriage thing. It's called marriage.
No, but I love it. I don't see that very often, but I love the fact that I'll sit down in my backyard, in my deck with a cigar and a drink, and she'll be there with her laptop, and she'll have a new project, and we'll talk for like 3 hours, and we'll debate. Sometimes I tell her it's not a good idea, and then that challenges her, so she comes back with something else, and we're doing a lot of back and forth, but we complete each other.
So you are successful all the way today?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
And I want to thank you very much for accepting my invitation.
My pleasure.
Because I know at the first you were like, oh my God, what you going to say? And I'm so open-minded. But for me, it's a normal day-to-day life.
Right.
And I want to say to you that I'm very amazed that you're still so into it. And please do not stop, because you bring, I'm sure, a lot of pleasure and a lot of home. You open minds who are very close. And I'm sure you save people's life by knowing more about sexuality.
Maybe not lives, but
believe me,
marriages and couples.
No, life too. Some people
Maybe,
are very closed off.
Absolutely,
they don't even know their sexuality because they can talk about it. But if they have a toy, they can do.
Yeah,
so
you're absolutely right. And we live in a world now with social media and all that, where you see all these young people that don't go out anymore.
Exactly.
They stay home with their iPad and whatever.
They don't know about sexuality.
And thank God that they can go to one of our stores or one of our websites and buy something to
So we can buy it
explore.
also on the website
Absolutely.
or in the store.
Yes, you have pleasuresandtreasures.com.
Okay.
And you have many, many items, and I could give you a promo code for your viewers.
You do? Okay, let's go. What's the promo code?
I'll send it to you if you want it.
Let's do the promo code. It's called Behind the Social Label.
Yeah.
69.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Behind the Social Label 69.
Amazing. Yes.
Good.
We'll have it programmed.
It's my year of birth, so it's not because
amazing.
it's sexual.
But it's still sexual.
It helps.
It helps.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
so
program it into
it?
it. Yeah, absolutely. And when you go live, that thing will be...
So we can do it, and we have a code.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. It was a great interview.
Thank you.